Okay, we are going to start our today's lecture that is all about computer programming. Okay, so first of all, I will tell you what is computer programming, and then I will give you a brief introduction about that, and afterwards, I will go in detail about what is this and how we are going to carry out all the course content and other. So, what is a programming language? Just like I am communicating with you in a language. Uh, it is English, okay? It is also understandable to you, and it is also understandable to me. In the same way, if I want to carry out some tasks, if I want a computer to perform some tasks, then I have to communicate with computer. But the problem with it is it only understand binary language, which is not understandable by the humans. So for carrying out the operations through computers, some programming languages were made that will help us to communicate with the computer or technology. So, what are the programming languages? They are the set of instructions that a computer can understand and execute. Okay, you can say it is a bridge between a human and a machine. Like, I want to communicate with you. We will use a language that is understandable to you and that is understandable to me too. For example, if I want a computer to do some calculation, if I say computer, please do 4 plus 4. But how? I can't, a computer will not understand English words. There should be some specific way, some kind of specific commands that a computer can understand. So for that, programming languages were built. Just like human languages, different, you can say French, German, English, etc. Many are there. So programming languages were built to carry out their tasks. Okay. So programming languages have syntax and semantics. What is syntax? Syntax means rules. Okay, like there are some rules for writing in English or writing in Urdu that you have to follow in your kindergarten, or that you have to write a letter like this and there should be space. So that were the syntax of writing that language. Similarly, for writing a programming language, you have to follow some syntax. So you have to follow some rules. That is called a syntax. And a person who develop a programming language or write a programming code is called a developer or a computer engineer. Clear? Then the code is written in a plain text. What is a code? Like this we write the language in which, like in English, we wrote some letters together, combine them in a paragraph. That is called a sentence. Okay. Similarly, the pattern you write, the language you wrote in a programming language is called a code. Clear? Then what is a compiler and an interpreter? We will go through it in deep later bit a later bit or later. Then so syntax is clear, as I shown you that syntax refers clear. Do you know now? If I should know, I think explain what is a programming language more. If you want me to explain more, I will tell you. Syntax, I have, as I defined earlier, that these are the rules for writing a language. Okay, you have to write, how to include things, keyword, operators. Then next one is semantics. Semantics mean the meaning that is associated with that language, the instructions. Okay, we will go in deep a bit later. I'm just giving a brief introduction to you about that language. Okay, then there are libraries. Library, in formal words, library refers to a room that is full of books and different knowledge. Similarly, in programming language or any kind of programming language, you can say there is a certain library, a virtual library of things. If you have to carry out some input output operation, there will be a separate library. If you have to compute mathematical operations, there will be a separate library. So that library will contains all the instructions, all the commands, okay, related to that specific thing that we have to perform, such as file handling, networking, data manipulation, or addition, arithmetic operations. For carrying out all that operations, we have a library. Clear? Then there are some programming languages, example like C. C is also known as a mother of languages. It was the first language that was developed. The first computer program was written in a C language. Okay. Then the next one is Java. Java is an object-oriented language. Okay, what is an object-oriented? I'll go in detail in later, but I will give you a brief introduction that uh, a language that we can inherit multiple times is called the object oriented language. Then there are Python. Python is most commonly used language, a language that is used to carry out robotic tasks, machine learning tasks. Then JavaScript, a highly demand web developing language. Every site you have seen in today's modern era will be coded in JavaScript. Okay, then there are many standard libraries of JavaScript like React JS, many other. Ruby is also another language. These are some kind of languages that are used to write code. Okay. Then there are two kinds of languages. One is first one is high level language, and the second one is low level language, programming language. So a high level language is designed for humans. Okay, like I will going to show you some code. You have to tell me if it is understandable to you or not. Okay. Now here you can see there is a program written in a high level language. You can read this is easily understandable to you. You can read it is written if it is written as just like a word related to English. This is written including means the thing is you can read it easily. You can know what is this. Although you don't know what its meaning is, what meaning this program or code is carrying out, but at least you know what is it written. That is your high level language, that is closest to human but far from computer. I know computer can understand this code but not directly. Okay, computer cannot directly understand this code. So what will we do to make this code understand able to computer? For carrying out that purpose, we use different kinds of compilers and interpreters. We will see them later. Okay, now this is a high level language code. Okay, written in C++ language. We will talk about later is just to make you understand what is a high level language and how it look like. This is a code written in a high level language. Now let's go back to and see what is a low level language. I think high level language is clear. It is like here's also written, it is English like keywords and syntax. The code that I have shared you earlier was easily understandable to you. It was like English like words. There was a use of if, there was a use of else, there was the statements that were written in English that was easily understandable by you. So, but in the case of low level language, it is not similar. It is much more complex, that is written in zeros or one form. Okay, that is not easily understandable by us. A human cannot easily understand able the code written in a low level language. Okay, it is just for machine purpose. A machine can completely understand a low level language. So you can say a high level language is close to humans but far from computers. But the low level languages are close to computers and far from humans. Okay, so this was what is a programming language and what are the two main types of programming language and what is the difference between them. Clear? Now, let's see how a high level language. Now, you might be think that we know that we can write our code in a high level language, but a computer can't directly understand a high level language. Then how a computer is going to execute that code? For that purpose, we use a couple of compilers and interpreters. I'll give you a practical example by performing a code in a C++ later after ending this lecture. But for now, I will just going to give you an overview of what is a compiler and an interpreter. Okay, let's learn about compiler and interpreter. So there are two kinds of program, a source program and an object program. The program that is written in high level language that I showed you earlier is called a source program. The code just we seen a bit moment before. Then a code that is written in a object form or in a machine form, like in the form of zeros and one, is called a object program. So the first one is the compiler. What will it do? It will convert the high level language into a machine level language as a whole. Okay, it will take the whole program and read one by line. If there is any error, it will give you a error check message that, dear programmer, you have an error on this line. You have to remove it. Then I will convert it into another form. So this is your source program. The compiler will convert it in the object program. The next one is your interpreter. It will go a statement by statement. It will read the first line. Okay, it is just fine. There is no error. Then it will convert that into the object program. Then it will read the next line, and then it will compile it, just read it. If there is no error, then it will convert. So it will take a lot of time. So mostly the compilers are preferred while you are just converting your source program to object program. Clear? If you have any question till now, let me know. Now, how computer programming language are used to meet business need. So, we have seen computer programming languages. Now, how they have been used. The first one is web development, the foremost and the latest thing that has been using daily. You have seen a lot of websites, a lot of things. You carry out your different tasks through websites. Now the question is how these websites were made, how you can carry out your tasks within zero time. That's just because of these programming languages. There are a couple of languages that work behind the scene, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then there are server side. There are two kinds of languages that are used in web development. First one is your front end, and the second one is your back end. In front end, there was HTML, CSS, JavaScript that just work with your UI, the interface that you've seen on your screen. And the other backend languages, Python, Ruby, PHP, are used to carry your data to the database. So it was the first use of your programming language that in the field of web development for developing or creating beautiful websites, programming languages are used. Then the next one is database management. So what is a database? You go on a website or on a university site, you fill a form. Clear? Now the question is where that form data is going to be stored. There should be a place that where your data should be stored. So that here comes in your database. Database is a virtual place, okay, that is circulating on the internet, that is responsible for storing your data, okay. And now for managing that database, there should be a language. You can't directly communicate with your database. For communicating with your database, that if you have to insert some queries, like you have to store some data and you have to retrieve some data from the database, you need some languages. For handling that database management system, there are programming language like SQL. SQL is a language that is a programming language that is used to handle or manage your database management system. Then the next one is your automation. Automation refers to a task that you perform on repeatedly basis. For example, when you go to your college or institute, you have your teacher takes your roll call or attendance on daily basis. Okay, it will take a lot of time. So what will you do? You will make a system, okay, that will take your roll call on daily basis without the help of a human. So that is your automation, a task that you have to perform rapidly. But how you are going to make that system? That you will use a couple of programming languages. You will write a code to handle that task. So programming languages are used to carry out automation in business. So there are a lot of business, like education system is also a business, a school business, where for carrying out that tasks, like for fee management system, you have to submit your fees. In different schools, in different institutes, there are different fee management systems, student management systems. For how that systems are made, these systems are made with the help of programming language, okay. So this is also another feature that for handling the automation, programming languages are used. Then the next one is data analysis and business intelligence. For, like as I mentioned earlier, for carrying out some AI, artificial intelligence tasks, as you know, that artificial intelligence is the most popular technology in this era. So how that technology is being implemented, the language that is working at the back end of that robotics or that AI is your Python and R. These two are the main programming languages that are used to carry out that intelligence tasks. Like if you have an intelligent agent, you have seen smart cars, smart watches, everything that have carried out tasks automatically by themselves without the human decisions or human involvement. For that, Python and R are huge. So you have seen that programming languages are so powerful that can help you to meet your business need or your personal requirement. The next one is mobile app development. The most easiest and most important feature of business requirement is the mobile app development. You have seen, you have Androids or iOS, how your apps have been made different. You have been using different kinds of app on your daily basis. How that were made, how they are going to meet the user requirement, everything is just because of a programming language. Okay, the language that are used to develop a mobile app is your Swiss, Kotlin. You can make use Java for your internal operations. For so the programming language are also used to make mobile apps. Okay, then the next one is artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, for carrying out artificial intelligence tasks or machine learning refers to making a machine intelligent, okay, in such a way that without human involvement, they can carry out tasks. Like you have seen many face recognition systems. If you scan your face onto your phone may unlock. So that the thing that is working at the back end of it is the programming language or machine learning algorithms that is coded in Python. Okay. The next one is security. Business need to protect their data and system. So what will you do? With the help of programming language, you will build a security system. Okay, a detective system that will help you to keep the unauthorized user away from your business important or crucial data. Then the next one is IoTs, the Internet of Things. Okay. Now, let me give you an example of IoT. Self-driving car, okay, healthcare products, the robotics that has been used in mostly hospitals or are the example of IoT. Internet of Things that involves machine to and software too. A software and machine is combined together to carry out an automation, a task that is performed rapidly. For that purpose, programming languages are also used. For programming for programming a robot or a machine, all you need is a programming language. First, you will choose a programming language. Then you will write a code. Then you will use some certain libraries of that language, and then you will embed that into that robots or any machine that you have been using. Then it will carry out your automation or data collection. Okay, so these all are the features that have been seen how computer languages are used in business context. Okay, the next one is the e-commerce, the most popular one. You do a lot of online shopping sites. You have seen online transactions, online banking is the most popular example of e-commerce. Any business transaction that is carried out online is called your e-commerce. There are many online shopping stores there. How that are made? There are many online banking apps. How they are made? They all are just made with the help of the programming languages. Different kind of programming languages has been used to carry out these tasks. Okay, the next one is content management system. Okay, now building a website with the pure code is really a difficult thing. To make that easy, different content management system are used, just like WordPress, Jambola, Bootstrap, uh, or many are other. There are Emulator and so many. If you have just a little bit knowledge of web development, you may know all of these. These are just used with different kind of programming language to make beautiful UIs. Okay, UI refers to user interface. The screen that has been visible to you is also a user interface. Okay, then integrations. Integration means to integrate, to insert a software system with services. Okay, to carry out different tools and tasks. So for all these purposes, your programming languages are widely used. Everything is just carried out with the help of a programming language. So, in a summary, if we say that for business operation and their specific need, if a customer wants to build a custom software, custom softwares are the software that we made according to our needs. Web applications, powerful AI, power of data, AI. So, all for carrying out these things, meeting business requirements, our programming languages are widely used. Now, the next thing. Next thing is how programming languages are used in different industries. We have seen what is a programming language, how it is going to meet the business requirement, what are the different things a programming language is doing in business. Now let's see some kinds of industries example where our programming languages are widely used. The first one is healthcare. You have been gone into different hospitals, you may see different electronic health records. Okay, if you want to store a patient history, patient record, you may see in a receptionist that that have a system or a laptop where she may print you a receipt or calculate or store your patient history record or your bill check everything. For all that purpose, there is a software that is working behind in it. So to make that software, different kind of programming languages are used. Just like medical imaging means where your MRI is performed or your CT scan analysis. To that CT scan analysis machine or MRI machine is just made. The software that is working in them is made by using different programming languages. Like C++ is the most widely used. Python is most widely used. So in healthcare, programming languages are widely used. The next one is agriculture. It is also used for GPS guide tracker. Drones are used for crop management. Like you have to see how your crops are being doing, if they have been watered properly, if there is any pesticide you want to use, or how you have going to harvest them. Everything for that purpose in agriculture field, for doing their data analysis, for analyzing how to optimize your crop yield, how minimum resources you can use to get a better crop. For all that purposes, you can made a software that can be used by making by using Python and R. Python are the most powerful programming languages that are used for machine learning purposes. Then retail and e-commerce. Retail companies, okay, you may go in a online, you may visit a online shopping store or any other. Okay, there will be a system that is used to made, that is used to carry out your billing purpose, that is used to scan how what is the cost of the product when the product you have purchased. They may use a barcode scanner to scan your barcode. Then using a system, they may print you a list of bill or everything. For all that e-commerce purpose, maybe it's physical or online, for both purpose, or e-commerce website you have been seeing, different online shopping stores are there. Okay, how they are made? By using programming languages like PHP, Python, JavaScript. So all these are made with the help of programming languages. So in this way, our programming languages are mostly helpful in e-commerce field. The next one is transportation and logistics. You have seen whenever you drive somewhere, Google Map is the most helpful thing. Okay, if you have to reach to a certain destination, but you don't know the path for that destination, you may use your Google Map, or with the help of a specific software, you can reach to that destination. How that are made, how that route is just scanned, how that route is analyzed, what is the shortest path for reaching that destination. All this scheduling, all this routing is optimized or built with the help of Python delivery routes. Okay, with that, you can know where you have to go, when you will arrive, everything. Then traffic management. They are also used to manage your traffic and light signals. Okay, you can also make a system that can Without the help of a human, robotics or a machine can easily manage the traffic too. Then how programming languages are going to helpful in entertainment and media industry? The most common and most easy example of that is your video games. You may have seen a lot of game out there that has been played on daily basis. That games are made by using and C sharp. Okay, so in gaming or entertainment development, here also programming languages are used. Then streaming services, like if you have to do online streamings, then JavaScript and Pythons are used to make that streaming platforms. Okay, the next one is your learning management system. The most simple example on your websites or the portal you has been using that allows a student ID to log in there, and then there will be a lot of tasks that require you to carry out your online exams and everything. Okay, then in government and public sector, in government and public sector, programming languages are widely used for budgeting purpose, for tax collection. There is another software. If, in other words, for making any kind of software for any industry, you require the programming language. Okay, so for making any software, if you want to make a software for you can say security purpose, if you want to make a website, for anything you want to do virtually or digitally, you require the language. Without a language, you cannot do anything with your laptop or system. If you want to carry out some tasks, if you want to do if you want to build a simple calculator, okay, you have seen many physical manual calculators, but you want the computer, you have also seen in your pieces there is also a calculator. Okay, how that calculator is working behind the scene? A language uses specific rules to carry out that calculation. The next is space and aerospace. Okay, how the weather is forecasted, how the mission control, how you can see how what your satellite is doing out of space. Everything for satellite communication. For these things, C and Python are used. Okay, for designing a aerospace company. Okay, for simulation aircraft, if you have to design a aircraft, what your real aircraft will do, you will simulate a aircraft. A virtual copy of aircraft is called simulating aircraft. Okay, for that designing you may use C++. Okay, then the next one is environmental science. Okay, forecasting, for example, you don't know you have seen your phone have contains different kind of weather apps that will forecast that tomorrow will be the temperature will be 26 degrees celsius, or rain will is going to rain is coming tomorrow, or there will be snowfall after 2 days. So all these websites are or these apps or climatic models are made with the help of programming languages. Okay, so in environmental science, programming languages is also playing a crucial role. So everything in every industry, programming languages require specific requirement for a application. So programmer, software engineer use a specific language for creating software. As I shown you, in every industry there is an everywhere there is a different kind of languages being using. For example, for game development, we have seen C sharp is the one of the widest language used to carry out gaming development tasks. And for carrying out robotic tasks related to AI, artificial intelligence, or machine learning, Python, Ruby on Rails, such kind of languages are used. So how these languages have a great impact on different industries? There are, for carrying out each task, different programming languages are used differently. Okay, no, there are too many languages. You have to choose what you have to do and for which field you have to make your software. Then, according to that specific need, you will choose a language and you will carry out your tasks. Now, we have seen what is a programming language. We have seen how they have been used in industries. We have seen how they are useful in business requirement and business environment. Now, see what are the requirements for developing a computer code. Okay. Now you have seen what is a programming language, how what are the benefits of a programming language, what is the syntax, what everything I have told you. I have given you the introduction of a programming language. The next thing is how you are going to develop a computer code. What are the skills? What are the requirements of writing a computer code? How you are going to, what are the skills required to write a computer code? First thing is understanding the problem. Okay, before writing your code, you have to deeply understand what is the problem, and for what problem you have to write a code or you have to develop a computer program. Like if I assign you a problem, write a computer program where you have to add the student marks, a program that will take input as student numbers and will calculate the average total marks and assign grades according to their marks. So this is your problem. Your first task is to analyze your problem. The problem is you have to make a software that will calculate average, that will calculate the total marks and assign grades. So what will you do? You will gather the requirement for that software. You will gather the student marks from different students. The marks that are required to calculate that average. Because in this problem, without getting that marks, you wouldn't calculate the average, you wouldn't assign them grades or calculate their total. So after understanding the problem, your next step is requirement gathering. Okay. And then you have to do the analysis. Which language you will use, which approach is better to carry out this operation. Like you will do analysis, which is the suitable language to write that code. Okay. Then you will decide your language, you have gathered your requirements, and you have clearly understand your problem. So the next step will be you will write that code. So this was the first point you have to kept in mind whenever you are designing or writing a computer program. The next one is planning and design. Now you have collected your initial requirements. You have the understanding of the problem. The next one is the planning and designing phase. You will design the architecture with the help of flow charts, data model. You have been studying, maybe you have, let me show you how a flow chart looks like. So this is a flow chart, okay? A flow chart might look like. So here I build a flow chart adding two numbers. So what will you do? You have analyzed a problem that you have to add two numbers. You will start in the input, like in initial requirement gathering, you will take that two numbers. Okay. After taking two numbers, you just add them and then you have to display and then you have to add. So in designing and planning phase, what will you do? You will plan and design how you are going to solve that problem. Okay. Then you just prepare a design in the form of a flow chart or in the form of a diagram that you are going to solve in this way or in this manner. Okay. In the second phase, you have just studied that how you have to design that problem that in the form of a diagram. The planning means you will break your project into smaller parts. First, in the first step, you have break it into smaller parts. Like in the first step, you just gather the input as I shown you in the flow chart. Then you just add them. Then you display the result. Then in the last step, that program was ended. The third one is your problem solving skills, the logic, the inside ability to tackle any problem, how you analyze the problem, how you identify the solution, or how you are going to debug your code. Okay, so all these things are crucial in writing a clean code. The first, you have to analyze what is the problem. Second, you have to gather your initial requirements. Like in that example, you have to gather the student marks. In the other example, you have to take that two numbers. Then in the third, you have to build a flow chart or a diagram. Means you have to design your solution in the form of a graphical form, in a picture form. Then the third is your skills, how you are going to analyze your problem, how you are going to analyze the solution, how you will debug. Debug refers to finding the errors. Okay, if there is an error in your program, that will call the bug, and if you identify it and remove it, then that is will be called your debugging. Clear? The second one is documentation. Documentation means in written form, you will just explain how you will gather the requirement, how you will, what language you will use, what code will be used. I'm going to show you an example of a document, so it might will give you a clear understanding. This is an example of tourist documentation, tourist app documentation. So see, I have just made this chapter wise. So in second chapter, you have you require some software requirement and specifications. So these are all functional requirements that the system should use the user for easy, that the UI should be simple. You have to create and sign up option, then the user will sign up. So all the functionality that app is going to perform, you have to mention in your documentation. Then how the notification requirement will, non-functional requirement, then everything. So this documentation can might be of 50 pages, then might be of 60 pages. Look, so in the third, what is the performance requirement, how the app is going to perform, what is the efficiency requirement. So in this way, look, this is the graphical, the in the form of flow chart. So this is a user diagram, how the user is going, where is the database, how the user is going to sign up, how he is in signing, what if it forgets the password. So everything you have to mention in your documentation, how you are going to carry out your task, how the admin will be authenticated, how the data, how the admin data is going to reach the database. So you have to show virtually in your documentation which kind of process model is used. Like in this tripper application, tourist application, agile model is used. Like first you will design, test and release, again and again you will perform this. Okay, clear? So this is the complete data model, that everything is mentioned. These are the more diagrams of how you are carrying out the coding process. So this is how your app is going to look like. Look, it is an documentation of a mobile application called Prepper. So you might find it is it on Play Store, that is my known. See, this is how the app will look like on home screen, everything. Clear? So this is the documentation of a software. The next thing is testing. Okay, after making a good documentation, you have to build a test, and you have to do a test that your app is working or not. For that, you have to create a test plan. Now I am going to share the example of a test plan. Okay, so I have created a test plan for a online banking application. So in this way, after documentation, you have to create a test plan. Okay, you have to give the content, that why you have created a test plan, what are the test methodologies, what testing tools are used, everything you have to mention in this test plan. What are the steps, what is the, how you are going to verify your online payment validation, you have to create a test plan for that. So in this way, after making a documentation, you have to provide a plan. If there is any problem, how you are going to deal it with it, and how you have to going to test it. So it is, test plan is also a document. Clear? What then the team collaboration? You have to collaborate with other. With your own effort, you can't create a big project. You might create small little projects, but for a big project, you require a team. You have to collaborate with your team members, your co-members. You have to listen to them too, what they are doing and how they are doing. So all of that is also needed in while creating a software or while coding a language. Clear? Then how you are going to maintain and fix the bugs, what is, how your user interface UI is looking like. On this screen you can see this user interface. It provides everything that for your age you can do easily. So this was all about what is a programming language, what are the skills needed to do. Now we are going to just see how you are going to install your IDE for writing our first code. Then in the second lecture, we will study about C++ and we will write our first code. Okay. Okay. Have you seen how I am going to you have to download this software, this IDE, and you have to install. I think it's clear to you. Any question till now? So this is what a programming language was. Let's now see the syntax of a C++ language. C++ language. So let's study the basic structure of C++. First, we will write the header file that is mentioned here. #include iostream.h. So I have told you about the libraries in the beginning of lecture, that the library contains the operation that we use to carry out a task. So similarly, that this is a library at iostream.h. What it will do? It will carry out your input and output tasks. For example, if you have to display something on a screen, or if you have to take input from the user, then what will this library will do? This library will execute your input and output tasks. So in the program body, the first thing you have to write is this library, this header file. This #include is you can call is your header file, and this is this library. So the first line you have to write in your program is your #include iostream.h. Then ignore this one. The next thing is your main function. Okay. Main with word. What is this word? We will study in the next class. I'm just explaining the program body. So the next thing you have to write is your main function. All the operation that have been carrying out, everything will be carried out in your main function. Okay. This will be carried out in your main function, like your addition, subtraction, printing something on the screen. Everything you have to write in your main function. And then you have this curly braces and this closing braces. Okay, let's write our first code. So this is the basic programming structure of C++. Write our first code. So first I have to write our IDE #include iostream.h. Clear? Then in the next line, we have to write our main function. Okay, what the main function will do? Main function will carry out your every and each task you have to perform. Then you have to press to curly braces. So this is the basic program body. Now I want to print something on the screen. Okay, let's write something on the screen. I will use C out. Okay, and then I will in double quotes I will write hello world. Clear? So this is a basic structure of a program. Simple basic program that will print hello world on the screen. Then you have to run. Now I will use this runner. When you click on this button, the compiler is going to check all over the program. If there is any error exists, the last thing you have to also put a semicolon. So the most important thing I want to mention here is a semicolon. After executing each statement in the main function, you have to put a semicolon at the end. Clear? So this is the development environment, IDE. I have just showed you how you have to install it. So I am going to run it. So look, the compiler is debugging the code. So there is an error in my program, I think. Main must return int. So instead of word, you have to write int. Just because of this ID requires you have to write int. But if you use an other ID, you can write word too. But here you have to write int. No, I think. Look, hello world. Hello world is just written on the screen. Can you see that? So this is the small, a basic program which will just print something on a screen, right? So this was the basic structure of a C++ language. Clear? Any question till now? Okay, you have no questions. Now, let's see something else. So, cout is a statement. Okay, let's learn about cout. What is this main function? What is this int and what are these header libraries? You have just seen. Then if you have to store this, you will just go there on the file option in your ID and you will just click this save button. And if you have to assign a name to you to this file, you can use the save as button and then write the name of the file, and this file will be stored in your local computer. Okay, so this is how our operations are carried out in the C++ language. As we see, the user entered in the program and the source file. The program was the program that I had just written. Then what will a compiler do? A compiler will translate that program. Okay, if the compiler, the translation is going to be successful, the file is executed, and you have seen that we have seen that hello world message. And firstly, there was an error. Okay, what it will do? Fail. It will show the list of error. It shows me that instead of word, you have to write in. Then I will go back. I have just remain my code again and again just executed. And in the second attempt, I execute my code. Then we have studied about syntax error. The error I performed was a syntax error because I write word instead of int. So according to the syntax of C++, I have to write void int there. So there were different kind of error too. Okay. Then debugger that you have seen, a green button that I just pressed and a compiler was run. So that was debugging your program. Check by check, every step on each step, it will check that if there is any error or no. If not, then it will execute further. If yes, then it will stop and display an error message. You can use Turbo C++. It is also a IDE like C35. If you are compatible with or easy with this C35, you can also download this. Okay. I will just also give you this reference book for your help too, where you can see multiple explanations of C++ language and how you can start your coding journey. Clear? Okay, we have seen for output we use cout. Okay, cout is a statement, a reserved word that is used to display something on the screen. So what if I want to take some input from the user? What will I do? For that purpose, I will use cin. So tell me which ID can be used to run C++ code. Okay, tell me the difference between a high level and a low level programming language. Okay, that was all about today's lecture. So if you have any question, you can let me know. Understand you will, okay, clear. No questions, then I'm going to end my lecture here. So see you in the next lecture.